Hello everyone, subscribe to my channel to not miss new trending manhwa.
The scene opens on a towering skyscraper, a beacon of modern corporate life. Inside, the office workers spy on their colleague, Xiao Hai, who has an unexpected female visitor. The office gossip mill churns as they deduce she's his girlfriend, and this is no friendly visit. His colleague is stunned by the audacity of a public breakup right in the middle of the office. Getting straight to the point, the woman coldly informs him she can no longer be with someone so useless, leaving him stunned. Her face contorts with fury as she spits out his full name, Haishin. Haishin is visibly crushed as she declares his very presence is pathetic and disgusting to her. She reveals her true motive, his supposed cultivation potential. Now, a bitter disappointment that has wasted her time. He desperately reminds her of the immense sacrifices he made, giving her all his spiritual resources. His words only fuel her rage, causing her to slam her fist on the table in utter contempt. She belittles his gifts as trash, flaunting new spiritual earrings from a powerful young master Lai. In the background, a fist slams down on a desk, shattering a nearby object in anger. A pink-haired colleague stands up, declaring the ex-girlfriend has gone too far with her insults. Her teammate tries to de-escalate, worried about office KPIs and warning her not to get involved. The intervening colleague hesitates, trying to explain her true, unexpected reason for speaking up. Her surprising clarification leaves the ex-girlfriend utterly baffled and shouting in disbelief. Haishin, now completely composed, calmly demands she return everything he ever gave her. His request sends her into a destructive rage as she kicks the entire desk setup apart. She unleashes a hateful curse, wishing him a life of misery and a horrible demise. He calmly offers a mailing option for the items, but she screams she'd rather destroy them than give them back. Unfazed by her threat, he cheekily asks for the location so he can salvage the items she plans to discard. His bizarre reaction piques his pink-haired colleague's interest. Though her teammate warns her to get back to work, her teammate's warning comes too late as a shadow of authority falls over her desk. The dreaded cultivation department manager, Zhang Jiqian, appears behind her, demanding to know if her KPIs are finished. The manager's fury then shifts to Haishin, whom he finds slumped over his desk, seemingly asleep. The pink-haired colleague quickly intervenes, explaining that Haishin is just recovering from a harsh breakup. Later, the scene shifts from the tense office floor to the top of the skyscraper. Haishin sits alone on the building's edge, contemplating his future against the vast, open sky. A familiar voice breaks his solitude, asking if he skipped his lunch break. To his surprise, it's his manager, Zhang Jiqian, approaching him on the rooftop with a bag in hand. The manager strides forward, asking Haishin if he's feeling down after the public spectacle. In a surprising show of concern, he offers a soda, suggesting it might help him unwind. Haishin accepts the drink, baffled by the sudden change from his typically harsh boss. Instead of drinking, he crushes the can in his hand, letting the contents spill out. He then unleashes a primal scream, venting all the pain from his ex-girlfriend's betrayal. Feeling a sense of release, he thanks his manager, surprised by the man's unexpected compassion. But a wave of dizziness suddenly hits him, leaving him disoriented and confused. He realizes too late that the soda was tainted as he stumbles backward, losing control. In a distorted reflection, he sees his manager's face contorted into a malicious, red-eyed grin. The manager's true, menacing form is revealed as he looms over the collapsing Haishin. Haishin collapses to the ground, his vision fading as his manager stands over him. His consciousness blurs, a heavy sensation weighing down his mind as he drifts into darkness. He awakens with a start, finding himself chained and struggling to rise in a desolate, rocky cavern. The sound of approaching footsteps echoes in the cave as a voice confirms he's no longer unconscious. His captor is revealed to be his own manager, who casually walks toward him as he hangs suspended by chains. Baffled by the bizarre setup, Haishin asks his boss if there has been some kind of mistake. He then defiantly clarifies his personal preferences, completely misinterpreting the manager's intentions. The manager's face twists in bewildered rage, shocked by his captive's absurd assumption. Seizing the moment of confusion, Haishin shatters his chains and lands a powerful punch on his stunned boss. Enraged, the manager grabs him by the hair, demanding he look down and grasp the true gravity of his situation. Forced to look down, Haishin sees a pair of menacing red eyes glowing from the dark abyss below. The eyes flare with terrifying power, revealing the immense and ancient entity lurking in the shadows. A colossal dragon is revealed, to whom the manager presents the chained Haishin as a sacrifice. The manager explains that Haishin's unawakened ancient lineage makes him a far more valuable offering than their usual sacrifices. As payment, the dragon offers the manager a glowing red condensation pill, fulfilling a previous promise. The manager stares at the pill with pure greed, ecstatic about the major power-up it will provide. Satisfied with his reward, the manager turns his back on Haishin, leaving him to be devoured. The great dragon leans in close to its offering, asking the human for any last words. Haishin recoils, not from fear, but with a look of utter disgust on his face. He then audaciously insults the divine beast's oral hygiene, completely catching it off guard with his insolence. The ancient dragon is enraged, recounting its eons of existence in disbelief at the mortal's insolence. It quickly scolds itself for losing its divine composure over a mere human's taunts. With his chain shattered, Haishin is suddenly yanked feet first towards the beast-waiting maw. The dragon declares it will devour him slowly, dismissing his protest as the pleas of the weak. He clarifies his objection is not fear, but a graphic warning about his terrible athlete's foot. Driven to absolute fury by the relentless insults, the dragon lunges to finally silence him. The colossal beast clams its jaws shut, with Haishin caught struggling between its teeth. Despite the immense pressure, he grits his teeth and admits the bite stings a little. As he pushes back, a mysterious glowing sigil suddenly burns brightly upon his hand. The great dragon recoils in shock, seemingly harmed by this unexpected surge of power. The ancient dragon's eyes widen in utter disbelief at the mortal's unexpected power. The scene abruptly shifts, and Haishin finds himself standing in a classroom from his past. A teacher from his memories scolds him for talking about curses, instead of body refinement techniques. Unfazed by the mockery, the younger Haishin smirks back with defiant confidence. In an office, a colleague asks Professor Yin why he accepted a transfer student into his prestigious class. The professor grins slyly, cryptically mentioning the boy has other, less conventional talents. It's revealed he took a bribe, betting the student would fail the first exam anyway. A classmate mocks him from the hallway, laughing at his perceived lack of ability. Haishin looks up, challenging the heavens and questioning the very definition of talent. The memory lingers on the school building, a symbol of his past struggles and humiliation. He recalls that after being seemingly killed by the dragon, he awoke in his bed with his dormant spiritual root finally active. His memory flashes back to his ex-girlfriend's harsh words, reminding him of his status as the last descendant of a failing family. Her taunts still echo in his mind, revealing he bribed the director to transfer into this class partly out of spite. His thoughts are violently interrupted as a classmate slams a foot down right on his desk. The bully introduces the class rules, demanding a weekly tribute of valuable cultivation items. Other students watch with amusement, recognizing the bully's routine of hazing new transfers. Unintimidated, Haishin questions the bully's authority and his disrespectful behavior. The bully arrogantly declares the desk his territory, boasting about his own strength while mocking others. He issues a final threat, promising public humiliation if Haishin fails to comply with his demands by the week's end. With his ultimatum delivered, the bully casually walks away, leaving Haishin to contemplate the challenge. Instead of complying, Haishin's eyes flare with a menacing red glow. He instantly grabs the bully by the face, effortlessly overpowering his shocked opponent. Without a word, he hurls the bully straight through the classroom window. The bully plummets several stories before crashing violently into the ground below. His classmates rush to the broken window, shocked but also morbidly curious about the outcome. From above, the bully lies motionless in a deep crater, his defeat seemingly absolute. But with a furious roar, the bully smashes the ground, proving he's far from finished. A nervous classmate warns Haishin that he just picked a fight with a notorious and undefeated bully from a powerful family. The student continues, explaining the bully's reputation for utterly ruining anyone who dares to defy him. He then gives Haishin a friendly tip to avoid a specific alleyway, a known ambush spot for the bully and his crew. Defying the friendly advice, Haishin confidently approaches the infamous Guji alley. The bully's underlings question the need for 3 of them, deciding it's their job to handle the trash so the boss doesn't have to. The head bully scoffs, certain that Haishin is cowering somewhere, completely unaware that every escape route has been cut off. One of the goons praises his boss's foresight, but is interrupted by a voice declaring they have no intention of hiding. The subordinate spins around in alarm, completely caught off guard by the unexpected arrival. Haishin calmly walks into the heart of the ambush, his relaxed demeanor unnerving his opponents. The goons can't believe their eyes, mocking him for walking into their trap and surrendering to his fate. The bully leader's expression turns serious, speculating that Haishin might be a hidden master feigning weakness, his eyes glowing ominously. Haishin belittles them for their cowardly ambush and boldly invites them to strike. Enraged by the taunt, the bully glares back, his anger boiling over. The furious bully unleashes a devastating kick, vowing to end Haishin with his feet. The impact sends Haishin flying backward, smashing him into a solid brick wall. His underlings scoff at the anticlimactic result, mocking Haishin for being all talk. The leader curses himself for overthinking the situation, concluding Haishin is just a weak rookie. He gloats over Haishin's motionless body, certain his 5th-level refinement kick was fatal. But Haishin just laughs it off, mocking the so-called powerful kick for being surprisingly weak. Driven into a frenzy by the insult, the bully's face twists with pure, murderous rage. He lunges forward with glowing eyes, aiming a final, crushing kick at Haishin's head. To his utter shock, his foot connects with nothing but air as Haishin vanishes from the spot. A foot suddenly slams down beside one of the goons' heads, who looks up in pure terror. The remaining goon stares in horror, his face splattered by the result of Haishin's brutal counterattack. An agonizing scream rips from the bully leader's throat as he suffers a crippling blow. Haishin looms over the down bully, taunting him for being unable to stand on his own feet. Just then, a mysterious woman with glowing red eyes appears, declaring she has finally found her target. From above, the surviving goons look up in shock at the sudden arrival of this powerful new player. The last conscious thug is stunned, unable to process how she appeared in the blink of an eye. The woman wastes no time, summoning a massive, enchanted club to smash down upon Haishin. Panicked, the goon recognizes her lethal technique, one capable of destroying the entire area. Her death by purple gold club attack slams into the ground, unleashing a wave of destruction. The alleyway explodes, shattering the pavement and sending debris flying in all directions. The last goon flees in terror, realizing the woman's reckless attack has destroyed the entire neighborhood. As the dust settles, Haishin stands completely unscathed, looking through the smoke. The bully leader stares in disbelief, his mind shattered by the sheer power on display. His underling is paralyzed by fear, realizing they've stumbled into a conflict far beyond their league. The woman stands calmly in the crater she created, her glowing eyes fixed on her target. The scene suddenly shifts to a serene, floating island, a stark contrast to the recent chaos. Here, the mysterious woman is seen playing a game of Go with a strange, bird-headed being. The game board reveals a tense and strategic battle unfolding between the two players. Her companion, a being called the Great Dragon Lord, questions why she always chooses a human form. She scoffs at the Celestial Palace's strict rules, preferring her current appearance to a hybrid one like his. The Great Dragon Lord stares in wide-eyed shock at her dismissive attitude. He frantically points out that she is bleeding, but she dismisses his concern as a joke. She scoffs at the idea, boasting that her invincible body hasn't been wounded in a century. A sudden flashback reveals the moment she was struck, her expression twisting in disbelief as she was injured. Realizing the injury is real, she quickly performs a technique to stop the bleeding. The Dragon Lord bids her farewell, reminding her to follow protocol upon entering the mortal realm. Ignoring his advice, she plummets from the heavens, her eyes burning with fury as she descends. She examines a strange curse mark on her hand, realizing she's been afflicted with a death curse she cannot remove. Back in the mortal world, a massive explosion rocks the city, signaling her destructive return. Smoke pours from the ruined alleyway, the site of her unresolved confrontation. The dust settles, revealing a protective barrier that contained the explosion, leaving the surrounding buildings untouched. An aerial view shows the barrier perfectly enclosing the alley, a testament to Haishin's precise control. The surviving goon realizes Haishin not only tanked the hit, but also protected the area, proving his power is on another level. The woman scoffs, wondering if she's forgotten how weak mortals are, or if Haishin is somehow even weaker. Then she remembers. Suddenly, another woman with short white hair appears, furiously demanding that Haishin stay away from his opponent. She plants herself between them, her aura flaring as she shields the mysterious woman from Haishin. The goon's eyes bulge in terror at the sight of yet another powerful fighter joining the fray. Before he can even process the situation, the goon is sent flying by an invisible force, his mind reeling in panic. The red-eyed woman's calm demeanor shatters, her eyes widening in shock at the sudden turn of events. The newcomer reveals she is the Great Dragon Lord, recognizing Haishin and demanding he remove the curse mark that is now draining her life force. Haishin sheepishly admits he has no idea how to remove the life-draining curse. The Great Dragon Lord explodes in fury, unleashing a devastating flurry of attacks on him. She relentlessly smashes the ground, her fist shattering the pavement with every blow. As she screams for him to lift the curse, Haishin coolly observes her terrifying, self-destructive rage. The curse's backlash intensifies, causing the Dragon Lord to suddenly cough up blood. Her life force continues to drain, splattering across the cracked and broken ground. Realizing her attacks only harm herself, she stops, recognizing the futility of the fight. She decides to retreat and find another solution. But Haishin casually tells her not to leave so soon. Rising without a scratch, he cheekily demands compensation for their previous encounter. With a confident grin, Haishin reveals his audacious demand. He wants her to make him an immortal. The Great Dragon Lord explodes with rage, finding his demand for immortality completely delusional. Her fury quickly cools into a steely glare as she challenges what he'll do if she simply refuses. Haishin reveals his trump card with a dark smile, threatening mutual destruction by ending his own life repeatedly. Enraged by his blackmail, she vows to imprison him and find a cure on her own, no matter how long it takes. Unimpressed, Haishin calmly dares her to try, hinting at a deadly counter-technique of his own. The Dragon Lord's eyes glow intensely as she focuses her divine sense, preparing for his next move. Suddenly, she finds herself trapped in a mental domain, with Haishin towering over her from an impossible height. She looks up in stunned disbelief, realizing she's been caught in his powerful mental illusion. Conceding defeat, she tosses him a book, mockingly suggesting the talentless mortals start with a basic manual. The book's title reveals her true intentions. It's an advanced loan of the cultivation manual, not a gift. Haishin is thrilled by the manual, realizing that true power comes from cultivation, not just endurance. The Dragon Lord smirks, plotting to use Haishin for all he's worth before she's finally free of him. A silent, mutual understanding passes between them. They both plan to exploit this arrangement to its absolute limit. Nearby, the last surviving goon desperately tries to will himself out of existence as he senses her gaze. He freezes in terror, convinced she's noticed him and that his end has finally come. She dismisses the goon as a mere insect and turns to leave, unleashing a wave of energy as she departs. The goon is engulfed by the powerful aura, his mind screaming in absolute panic. His life flashes before his eyes, a memory of a friend surfacing in his final moments. A stern instructor from his past appears in his memory, warning him to remain calm during a test. The scene cuts to the goon waking up elsewhere, clutching his head with no memory of the previous day's events. The goon's memory resets to his school's opening ceremony, where an instructor announces a high-stakes monthly exam. The instructor kicks off the body training test, demanding the students push themselves to their absolute limits. The scene shifts to Haishin, now a student, complaining to his classmate about the sudden, unfair exam. His classmate explains that in their third year, all real learning happens in private lessons outside of school. The concept of private lessons is completely foreign to Haishin, leaving him stunned and confused. The classmate warns him that without extra training, he's completely unprepared for the exam. A nearby bully gleefully points out the idiot transfer student, predicting he'll take last place. The bully and his cronies erupt in laughter, already writing Haishin off as a complete failure. The amnesiac goon, now Haishin's classmate, feels a strange unease, trying to recall a forgotten grudge involving a violent leader. He's haunted by a vague, terrifying feeling and the memory of his missing friends. Unable to piece together what happened, the instructor announces the first test is to measure destructive power against a magical barrier. He calls upon his star student, Zhang Zhibai, to set the standard for the exam. With a powerful thrust, Zhibai drives his weapon into the fortified target. The weapon shatters layer after layer, sending shockwaves through the testing ground. The instructor proudly declares Zhibai has pierced 5 reinforced concrete walls, a feat nearly matching his own power. While female classmates swoon over him, Zhibai basks in the glory, dismissing his earlier anxieties. Haishin questions the impressive result, only to be told Zhibai is a top prospect for a prestigious cultivation university. His friend explains that breaking 5 layers is an incredible feat. Securing Zhibai's first-place rank as the next student is called. A much larger student named Wu Fei steps forward, preparing to take his turn. Wu Fei unleashes his attack, only for it to bounce harmlessly off the first wall in a pathetic display. To everyone's surprise, his projectile finally impacts the wall, sending cracked spiderwebbing across the surface. With agonizing slowness, the small black ball grinds its way through the reinforced concrete. Wu Fei strains with all his might, desperately willing his attack to break through the barrier. He peers through the hole he created as his projectile clatters to the floor, a minimal success. Wu Fei erupts in celebration, overjoyed at just barely passing the test while Haishin looks on. The instructor then calls for the transfer student, clearly expecting him to fail miserably. The class bully smugly reminds Haishin that failing to break 1 layer means immediate expulsion. As Haishin steps forward, a strange, dark energy begins to swirl round his hand. His eyes glow with power as a pre-installed technique from the manual. The Black Heart Thunder Palm activates. His classmate watches in disbelief, wondering why Haishin is approaching the target empty-handed. The bully mocks Haishin, sarcastically telling the instructor his promotion is guaranteed with such a hidden talent. The bully's mockery freezes as a sinister orb of red and black energy materializes in Haishin's palm. He winds up for the attack, channeling the volatile energy into a devastating palm strike. With a powerful thrust, he unleashes the Black Heart Thunder Palm directly at the reinforced walls. The dark energy slams into the first wall, obliterating it in a spray of dark tendrils. The sheer force of the blow sends him stumbling, his body wreathed in the aftershock of his own power. Without losing momentum, the blast tears through the second reinforced barrier like it's paper. One by one, the concrete walls shatter in a catastrophic chain reaction of destruction. The instructor stares in absolute horror, realizing Haishin has not only passed but completely annihilated the test. The attack punches clean through the final barrier, blasting a hole in the school's outer wall. The last wisps of his terrifying power sizzle and fade, leaving only destruction behind. His friend wipes his brow, relieved that Haishin not only passed but proved everyone wrong. The instructor stares in awe, recognizing that Haishin's unique technique has just set a new historical record for his generation. Acknowledging his mastery of both physical and spiritual arts, the instructor declares Haishin a once-in-a-generation genius. Suddenly, the other students see him in a new light, his power making him appear handsome as they whisper about his powerful, hidden origins. Meanwhile, the bully despairs, realizing Haishin's shocking performance has cemented his own position at the bottom. His earlier mockery comes back to haunt him, filling him with absolute dread for the consequences. The school bell echoes across the campus as the sun sets, marking the end of the tumultuous exam day. Later, the bully is a sweating, nervous wreck, the day's events having clearly taken their toll on him. Haishin confronts the terrified bully, who stammers out an apology, admitting his grave mistake and underestimating him. Haishin dismisses the bully's groveling, stating he's in a rush and will deal with him later. He then bolts from the school, leaving the stunned bully behind in a trail of smoke. The bully misinterprets this as intense dedication, vowing to work harder himself. Meanwhile, Haishin sprints across the city rooftops with desperate urgency. His eyes glow as he curses the treacherous dragon who gave him the dangerous manual. A system warning reveals the stakes: complete the training on time, or suffer a catastrophic loss of power. He spends the night practicing relentlessly, shattering trees and rocks to master the technique. With only seconds to spare, a notification confirms his cultivation process is finally complete. Standing amidst the destruction, he scoffs at how easy the intense training was for him. His triumphant smirk vanishes as a sudden, shocking realization dawns on him. His triumphant moment shatters as he suddenly collapses from the immense strain of the training. Far away, a mysterious island floats serenely in the night sky, home to a hidden power. On this island sits an elegant, traditional building, isolated from the mortal world. Inside, steam billows from a large, ornate bath, hinting at its occupant. The treacherous dragon, in her human form, relaxes in the water, humming contentedly. Her calm is broken as a dark substance suddenly erupts from the bath, splattering across her face. She recoils in fury, realizing her precious, newly made immortal dew has been ruined. A system notification reveals the grim truth: Haishin had overexerted himself and perished during the cultivation. The dragon scoffs at his weakness, admitting she placed a minor restriction on him that proved nearly fatal. From afar, she channels a powerful healing spell, enveloping his unconscious body in restorative light. The scene shifts to the school, showing the top student rankings before the exam. A new character, Zhang Zhibai, smugly boasts about his top 10 rank, belittling his peers. A female classmate suddenly rushes over, startling him with urgent news. She frantically points out that Wu Fei is no longer ranked last on the leaderboard. A flashback shows the old rankings, with Wu Fei at 42 and Haishin dead last at 43. Zhang Zhibai scoffs at the unknown transfer student, plotting to put the newcomer in his place. Back in the present, his past arrogance haunts him as he sweats, recalling Haishin's terrifying power. The new rankings reveal Haishin has already skyrocketed 10 places after his explosive performance. One of his followers reminds him that the second part of the exam is about to begin. The students gather in a large hall, sitting in orderly rows as they await the next test. Zhang Zhibai's heart hammers in his chest, the memory of Haishin's power paralyzing him with fear. He vividly imagines a brutal fist connecting with his face in a flash of violence. His nightmare continues, picturing himself being mercilessly beaten by a red-eyed, unstoppable Haishin. The grim fantasy ends with him being rushed to the infirmary, his survival hanging by a thread. Back in reality, the students watch an instructor explain the second test, a trial of palm strength and impact resistance. A new challenger, Zhao Yakai, steps up to confront Zhang Zhibai, mocking his famous iron-tempered steel technique. Vowing to shatter his rival's pride, Zhao Yakai unleashes his own powerful forged steel palm. He smashes his hand into the arena floor, sending a devastating shockwave rippling outwards. The force of the blow kicks up a massive cloud of dust, obscuring the aftermath of his attack. Unimpressed, Zhang Zhibai watches from the side, Dismissing the flashy display as nothing more than an overrated spectacle, Zhao Yikai's confidence shatters as his eyes widen in utter disbelief. From within the dust cloud, a menacing figure with glowing red eyes emerges completely unscathed. The smoke clears to reveal Zhang Zhibai standing unharmed, leaving his challenger speechless. With a crazed grin, Zhang Zhibai mocks his rival's pathetic technique before launching his own counterattack. He unleashes a vicious spinning strike, overwhelming his opponent with a single powerful blow. As the defeated student is carried off, the instructor prepares to call the next participant. Zhang Zhibai interrupts, his eyes burning with intensity as he demands Haishin step up to face him next.